Welcome to Repum Group's Item 24.
Hi, welcome to your latest episode of Item 24. My name is Storm Miller. I'm the Director of Franchise Development here at the Repum Group, and I am here for the first ever takeover of the Item 24 podcast.
Breaking down the inner workings of franchising and sharing real-life strategies and stories that drive the industry forward.
My journey to franchising actually started on the financing side of the industry. There's a gentleman that used to run the team over at Bennett Trends Financial named Eric Schechterman that hired me from a financial services company as a consultant there. Started by setting up 401k rollovers and SBA loans for people that were looking to purchase businesses and franchises. But while I was there at Bennett Trends, there started to become a trend within franchising, and these groups that we now call franchise sales organizations started to pop up all over the place and accelerate growth for emerging franchise systems. I happen to know a couple of guys like Nick Sheehan who were running FSOs, and we grew our businesses together. And slowly my role at Bennett Trends went from actually doing the consulting work into more leadership and management. And after about 5 years in the industry, Nick, Rob, and I got together at a couple of different conferences and decided we really enjoyed working with one another. We wanted to do so in a different capacity, and that led to my making the jump over to Repum Group. I've been here for 6 years now. Back in 2020, I took a brand to market called Forever Young Anti-Aging Solutions. They were the first full-service anti-aging concept in franchising, and I was with those guys for about 3 years, awarded nearly 150 licenses, and took them to a private equity transaction. From there, I took another concept out of Pittsburgh called the Milkshake Factory to market, and this was in 2023. Similar results there. Over the course of about 2.5 years, we grew them to 150 locations. They have stores open nationwide, and that leads me to the brand that I am currently with. That's Renew Medic. These guys are based in Memphis, Tennessee. They're a kitchen cabinet restoration brand, and if you didn't think that was an industry, it is an absolutely massive market that these guys are currently cornering. Couldn't be more excited to work with the team at Renew Medic. So one of the things I have really enjoyed about Renew Medic is working with what I think is the most experienced executive leadership group for an emerging brand in all of franchising. Between our CEO, Chris Gamble, and our CDO, Mike Pierce, there is over 6 decades of relevant franchising experience there. And I think, one, that's huge for me as a developer to be able to connect candidates with guys who have been there before. But two, for candidates who are investing in an emerging franchise brand, they want to know that the leadership team is going to be there to support them over the course of a 10-year franchise agreement. These guys have built their career on that. So you guys might not know this, but prior to franchising, our CEO, Chris Gamble, was in leadership roles within the airlines industry, stepped away from the airlines industry, actually became an early investor at 1-800-GOT-JUNK. So he bought a franchise, he grew that, built it, scaled it, sold it back to corporate, and went to go work for the founder of 1-800-GOT-JUNK. That's Brian Scudamore. Ended up running North American operations for the brand. He's been in franchise leadership ever since, but what's really important is he's a guy who has made payroll as a franchisee, and he did that before stepping into more of a leadership role within our industry. Mike Pierce, I think, is a legend in franchising. He's been in the industry now for 4 decades, been the chief development officer of brands like Domino's, ServiceMaster, Authority Brands. He actually came out of retirement to take Renew Medic back to market, and this was an idea that he had pitched to the folks at ServiceMaster 10 years ago that is finally now coming to fruition. Super strong leadership team. Even our chief financial officer, Whit Orions, is a franchisee within the system. So everybody that speaks to our leadership team, they're going to speak to guys who have built franchise systems before. This is not their first rodeo. And the only way to do that more efficiently and at a faster scale with stronger support is to have the hindsight of having done that before. These guys have been there. It's led to some outstanding success for the franchisee and the franchisor over the last year. So as you guys have seen, Renew Medic is really expanding all across the United States this year. We're happy to announce that with the territories we have sold, we'll now be able to service over 100 million Americans in their cabinet restoration needs. That number continues to grow every single month. But there are markets where we have wide open territory, and we would love to put the right franchise partner into business within the system. Some of them that come to mind are entire states like New Jersey. We have open territory in Indianapolis. We have open territory all along the Florida Gulf Coast. Markets like Louisville remain untouched. All of Wisconsin, untouched. Some really strong markets left for people who are looking to get into a business, kind of stretch their legs a little bit and scale something that when they exit could be a business of pretty extreme value. So I think it definitely makes sense to talk about why some of our candidates not have only bought into the Renew Medic system, but have done so confidently. First things first, the unit economics of this business jump off the page. And that's something that's going to be validated by our franchisees. Our candidates will hear that time and time again as they start to meet people within the system. The second is that we have virtually zero competition within the franchise space. Also, even though we are still technically an emerging brand, we're an emerging brand that comes with national account and program work from some of the nation's largest insurance carriers. So our franchisees, when they launch, they have an understanding that more than likely their first job is going to come in through the franchisor, and I think it gives them a little bit of comfort. Lastly, you're looking at massive territories with the opportunity to service multiple markets out of a single wood shop. We get into that when we actually cover territories with our candidates, but we're quickly running out of territory in certain parts of the country. And then you follow that up with a leadership team that has built their careers on helping people enter franchise systems, grow their businesses, and exit to the tune of creating some pretty generational wealth for themselves. Our leadership teams built their careers on that, and all of that has led to deals getting done quickly and confidently. Thank you for tuning in to our latest episode of Item 24. Again, my name is Storm Miller, Director of Franchise Development with the Repum Group. And if you have any questions about this opportunity, about this brand, feel free to reach out to me. Fortunately, there are not too many Storm Millers on LinkedIn, so I'm fairly visible on that platform. But again, if you have any questions, we're always happy to have the conversation. Can't wait for the next episode.